Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 7 of the Behind the Boards podcast series. I'm your host, Dylan Ehlers. Today we will have captain, senior forward Jacob McPartland on the podcast. We'll be asking him some questions as well as going over game summaries of the Hill Murray and Hutchinson game, as well as some game previews of Waconia and New Prague, two more conference opponents that the Fire play this week. So first off, obviously the Hill Murray game, not what the Fire were hoping for, as they lost 6-0, and it's again just the second period. You look at the first STA game, the Eden Prairie game, and now the Hill Murray game, and you take out the second period, the Fire would have lost to Hill Murray and Eden Prairie only 2-0, and then lost to St. Thomas Academy that first time 1-0. So it really just is a second period thing. And as Noel Ron had mentioned a few episodes ago, playing the whole game, playing all the periods, not just some of the periods, not just some of the time, but all of the time, is going to be super huge. And Jack Olson stood on his head for the Fire, kept him in as long as he could. He had 43 shots on net. Not a whole ton he could have done in that game, as 5 of the 6 goals were really defensive zone turnovers for the Fire that created 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, even 1-on-0 one of the times. And then the other goal that was not from that was from kind of a backdoor unlucky puck was just in the wrong place at the wrong time for the Fire. Right place at the right time for one of the Pioneers players. That was on Wednesday. Friday, though, first conference opponent since Orono, I believe. So this only the second of the year. The Fire played great. 2 goals in the first period, 4 goals in the second, 2 goals in the third, for a final score of 8-2. Jack Olson again came up with some huge saves. Didn't have to keep the Fire in it for that long, as they got out to a pretty hot start, 6-1 at the end of the second period. But he made some saves that most goalies would not have been able to save. So awesome to see for Jack. Parker Osborne finally got in on the scoring action this year. He got 2 goals. The first goal assisted from Nick Strand and Nick Blood. And then Jacob McPartland got one about 5 minutes later from Redden and Lindbergh. And then second period, Redden from Cameron and Limke, and then Lindbergh from Lund and McPartland. And then Hutchinson did get a goal on the power play, backdoor, nothing Jack could have done there. And then the Fire got it right back as Parker Osborne got his second of the night, second of the season, second of his career from Nick Blood and Joe Schmidt, who got his first career point there. And then Nick Blood had an amazing goal. He went forehand, backhand, and then up in the cookie jar, assisted from Strand and Noel Ron. In the third period, Mark Lund, pretty late on, it took about 7 minutes for us to get a goal, but he did get a goal from Roloffs and McPartland. About 4 minutes after that, Charlie Renner of the Hutchinson Tigers got one back, bring the score to 7-2. From there, it was about 20 seconds later, Grant Limke got one right back from Cameron and McPartland. So super fun game for the Fire. Kean Chugel almost got his first goal, so that was super fun to see. Just missed it. So Kean will be hoping to get it this week for sure. And yeah, it was just a good overall showing for the Fire. Score-wise, 8-2. It looks really good for Holy Family. Nothing that the Fire, should be ashamed of. They played great. Whole team effort again, like Noel Ron had said. Looking at the standings right now, the Fire are 3-0, the only undefeated team left. However, they are 5th right now in the Wright County Conference standings because they've only played 3 games. Orono's already played 8 conference games, 7-1. And then Hutchinson 5-3-1, Delano 4-4. So a lot of these teams have played 8 to 10 games, not 8 to 10, just 8. It's about 6 to 8 games. Waconia has already played 8, 1-7 so far. So far the Fire have to realize right now, we're not at the top, but we're going to be there as long as we keep doing what we're doing. We don't need to worry about any other teams losing or winning. Everything's in our fate. Everything's in our hands. And, theoretically, or historically, I should say, in the past, the Fire have beaten a lot of the teams that they have left to play. Delano, again, at home. Waconia at home. And then Litchfield at home. And then Mound and New Prague away. Those are all teams that the Fire, usually beat every single year. But not to mention that, anything can happen. So, and especially we've seen this season, anything really can happen. So tomorrow on Tuesday, the Fire play Waconia. Waconia so far 2-8. Statistically, not the best team, but they play big, they play physical, they play good hard hockey. Great win over New Prague for them, 5-4, and then a losing streak from January 19th to February 9th. So about 20 days, 3 weeks without a win. Losses to Delano, Mound, Litchfield, Hutchinson, Orono, Southwest Christian, and New Prague, who got the best of them the second time. And then large loss to Chanhassen, 10-3. So Waconia, they do have a couple of dangerous players though. So Chase Holcomb, by far their best player, along with his line mates, Louis Bodum, and then Tyson Wise, as those are the only three that are above 10 points a season. Holcomb has 8 goals, and then Bodum and Wise both have 7 goals, and then Holcomb with 11 assists, Bodum with 7 assists, and then Wise with 6 assists. Then after that, Danny Applegren, their top defender, number 20. He's a good player. He has about 6 points, but as a defenseman, that's not too bad, not too shabby. Goalie wise, Brody Butler is 1-5 right now. I think Garrett Isaacson's 1-4. So really, either of those two players could start. We're not sure yet, but don't be surprised to see either of them. Most likely it will be Butler, but would not surprise me if they had put Garrett Isaacson in there. Both from not the best save percentages, not the best goals against average. Both are above 6 on the goals against average scale, and then both of them are under 0.85, which 0.85 is pretty much the bare minimum for solid goalie statistically speaking in the Minnesota High School League. So statistically not the best, but I've seen a couple of their highlights, and they make some big saves. But the Fire just got to get pucks on net, and it should come through for them. And then looking forward to New Prague on Thursday. New Prague, kind of the same. Not the best start to the year so far. 2-8, exactly the same as Waconia. They play Chanhassen tomorrow as well. So Chanhassen, not the best team, but it's a good AA team. New Prague will get a chance to upset. Huge win for New Prague against Hutchinson. Hutchinson is probably a top 3 or 4 team in our conference. And to beat Hutchinson was huge for them. And then only losing to Hastings 6-3 is definitely also impressive for New Prague. A loss to Brody Lamb's Dodge County. Lamb's one of the best juniors in the state. They got the best of the New Prague Trojans that time. And then a loss to a very, very strong Mound team, 7-4. Lost to Chaska 4-0. Who Chaska's, they always have a really strong program. Kind of on the rebuilding season this year. Not a whole ton of seniors. I believe they only have like 1 or 2 seniors, but that's still not horrible to only lose to Chaska 4-0, especially for how small New Prague is. Aiden Dorzinski, their best player, 5 goals, 6 assists. He's going to be key for the Fire to stop. But besides that, not a lot of guys that the Fire are going to need to worry about. Will Anderson, the junior forward, is putting up some good numbers this year, averaging about a point a game. And then Jack Wilms, the senior, also is not a bad player at all. 7 points so far. And then Spencer Tuppy and Ryan Brinkus, their top D pair. They're two very good defensive defensemen. After that, defensively, they kind of fall off, but Brinkus and Tuppy are going to be two players that, the Fire are going to need to figure out how to get around. Carter Puente, the senior, I believe he is. He is a junior. He's, again, he's letting in a lot of goals a game, 3.26 per game, but his save percentage is above 900, so, he's getting a ton of shots a game, and he's doing his best, but just not enough goals scored up front by the New Prague Trojans for him. 2-6 record, as well as Jacob Scherf and Carter Herman both have losses, but Puente is the starter, so don't be surprised, or actually be surprised if Puente does not start. So that is kind of the rundown of the games, and we're going to actually try to get senior captain Jacob McPartland onto the podcast now. And now we have him on the podcast.
Hey, Dylan, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. All right, so a couple questions for you today. So first, what's been the key to your strong individual scoring start to the season?
Yeah, for sure. So I'd say I worked pretty hard in this offseason on specifically scoring, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's because my teammates been great this year, just setting me up and making it pretty easy to bury the puck, and they've just been giving me the puck at the right time, at the right spot, so I'm pretty grateful for the boys.
Yeah, 100%. Second, tomorrow, Tuesday, what are you expecting against Waconia?
Yeah, so this is a really important game for us. It's a Wright County Conference game, and, like Waconia always does, they're going to come out hard against us, and we just need to match their intensity right away. Like I said, it's always a tough game against Waconia, and we're really looking forward to having our classmates come out and cheer us on in this one, so we're just excited to get rolling.
Yeah, that'll be super exciting to have some of the guys out there to come support. And then third on Thursday against New Prague, another big conference game. What's going to be the keys to beating them?
Yeah, so once again, it's another big game for us, another conference opponent, but also a section opponent as well, which kind of makes this another important game. And we also have a New Prague native on our team, Jacob Cameron. So we got to make sure to take care of business for him on this one. But, just after losing the conference last year, I think our mentality has been a little bit more focused this year on winning the conference, and we're coming into each game pretty pumped up. So we're excited for this stretch of games here to get rolling. So
yeah, for sure. And just one more question. Right now, Holy Family's in fifth right now in the standings, but we've only played 3 games, where teams like Orono have already played 8 conference games. So obviously, statistically, we're not in the lead right now, but just keep rolling the wins. Am I right with that one?
Yeah, for sure. No matter who we're playing, we're going to come out with the intensity we always bring and play as a team each game. So
yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for being on. Thanks for letting me interview you today, Jacob.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dylan. We'll see you later.
Yep. That'll be it for today's episode of the podcast. If you guys have any questions that you want me to ask next week to whoever guest appearance will be on, just comment that down below. But thank you guys for listening, and God bless.